Hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to all audience. Welcome to our webinar. Let me just share my screen. So welcome to our webinar, Deep Dive into Selenium for and Chrome DevTools Protocol for mobile device emulation. We will start by small introduction about Synapse QA before starting by introducing our speaker. So what is Synapse QA? So about us, we are a community-driven space created by a bunch of aspirants who are passionate about testing craft since 2020. It's been one of the best and globally platforms focusing on helping testers build their portfolio. Also, we are a team that explore unique ways to emphasize the role of software quality in the context of the modern world by hosting global events, panel discussion, hands-on workshops, meetups, parallel learning, study notes, etc. And we are also community partner for 6 global testing conferences. And of course, we strive to continuously empower the community with innovative ideas that could bring change. So what is our values? So our values is we want to contribute to a better testing space by inspiring testers to open up their hearts and confidently share their knowledge with the wider community. We empower testers to accelerate their impact, boost their confidence, and overcome self-doubt. We are on a journey of changing the testing community space and making the community better than before. What is our vision? We aim to be launchpad for many talents that are hidden in our community. What is our mission is redefine the creative ways of knowledge sharing. So what makes us unique? We connect to people to foster their growth and inject confidence and self-belief. And as community, we are bringing more innovative and unique solution by creating events. So our journey, we start on March 2020. We launched Synapse QA platform. Then on December 2020, Super Reads. Then on March 2021, celebrated women leaders. On June 2021, API Unleashed and Series and Teller of Tales blogcast. On December 2021, Super Reads. And on 2022, Supervise and Public Speaking Workshop, etc. And we have a lot of other events. And this one is our first event on 2024. So we as a team, we have founder Nitin, co-founder Amala, and we have core members Ram, Priscilla, Safina, Kika, Enrique, and yeah, that's all for core members. And we have community ambassadors, Tuba, Sujut, and me, and our new joiner, Atika and Krupa. And of course, our door is always open for a new joiner. So I think that's all for Synapse QA. Let's move to our webinar, to our speaker. Just a little bit, I will talk about Sajir. He is from Kerala, India. He's a test lead with passion of coding and keen interested in automation testing tools. Currently, he contributes his expertise to the Business Service Authority in the UK, holding the role of test lead since March 2022. His professional journey includes a significant tenure as an automation test analyst at Nintext in Malaysia. What else? What else? With a total of 11 years of experience in the IT field and software testing, especially, he brings a wealth of insight and skills to the table. And his enthusiasm of coding is driving force, and he specializes in tools such as Selenium to enhance and streamline the testing process. So I think that's all for presentation. Just go and welcome to the stage, Sajir. Sajir, the stage is all yours. I will be in the backstage.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. Am I audible to everyone?
Sorry?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. I hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Vida. Thanks for the wonderful introduction. So,
Thank you.
Vida already told all about me, so I will just directly start the presentation now. I don't want
Okay.
to add anymore.
Okay, as you
Okay.
want. Welcome.
Yeah. So I will share the screen now. Let me know. Are you guys able to see the screen? So hope everyone can able to see my screen.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So yeah, hi all. So I am Sajir Noor Mohammed. I am currently working as a test lead in NHS Business Service Authority in UK. So yeah, as Fida mentioned, I am always have a passion to utilize Selenium and other kind of automation tools. So I will directly go to the topic. So today we are discussing about the Selenium 4. It's actually introduced maybe 3 years before, and I'm just giving some deep dive into Selenium 4 and some wonderful new features introduced by Selenium 4 for the mobile device emulation and also the Chrome DevTools Protocol. That's what's helping us to do this mobile emulation and kind of things. So today's agenda is let's just have a looking about the what are the difference between the Selenium 3 and Selenium 4 in terms of the architecture, and what are the improvements for the existing functions that are already in the Selenium 3. It's like a depreciation of desired capabilities, actions class, and Selenium grid, and the new features that are introduced in the Selenium 4, like relative locators, handling multiple windows and tabs in a browser, partial screenshot, capturing height and width for UX validation, and the cool feature that I feel is Selenium Manager, and of course the one we are discussing more in detail, Chrome DevTools Protocol and mobile device emulation. And finally, I will give a demo how we can do this mobile device emulation and how we can integrate with an existing automation testing framework. Okay, so let's go into the topics. If you have any doubts, you can add in the chat or you can ask at time. So the Selenium 3, until maybe we can say until Selenium 3.8, the how it is interacting with the browsers is using the JSON wire protocol. The problem is if you're using the JSON wire protocol, we need to decode and encode if you want to interact with the browsers, because the browsers is in all our W3C standards and they cannot understand this protocol. We need to decode and encode that. But when Selenium 3.8 came, they added Selenium founders or Selenium contributors added the W3C standards and W3C protocol, and we can just interact directly with the browsers. So but still they keep in the JSON wire protocol also in that. And when the Selenium 4 came, it's purely on W3C protocol. So whatever the languages we are using for writing the Selenium code, Java, Python, C Sharp, any Ruby or JavaScript, any languages, so it just uses a W3C protocol, and it can directly interact with the browsers and browser drivers. So it's allow us more effective communication with the browsers and stability, and it's promote more common code usage as well. So that is a one architectural difference between Selenium 3 and Selenium 4. So it will actually helping us to like improve our execution speed or kind of stuff if you compare Selenium 3 and Selenium 4. So that is an architectural difference between both of Selenium 3 and Selenium 4. And one more important thing is that if you are working as an automation tester, we always know that we need to create an instance of a WebDriver, and we are creating based on what browsers we are testing. So if you want to create an instance of a Chrome driver, we are just creating an object of web driver and then passing the constructor as Chrome driver or Firefox or whatever it is. But in Selenium 4, the web drivers usually in Selenium 3, basically the web drivers usually um, generate from a remote web driver interface. But in Selenium 4, for the Chromium based drivers, that is Chrome and Edge drivers, there is an intermediate key. So it is not directly inherit from the remote web driver. There is an intermediate key as Chromium driver. So from for the Chromium based drivers, which is like Chrome and Edge drivers, basically now inherit from the Chromium driver, and the Chromium driver inherit from the remote web driver. This is what for the purpose of introducing for this is what we are going to talk is a Chrome DevTools protocol. So introduce the Chrome DevTools protocol in the Selenium for architecture. Actually, in the code there is one more interface scheme that is called Chromium driver. So we can there are some specialist functions like Chrome DevTools protocol and all can we do with the Chromium based drivers, that is like Chrome or Edge drivers. So that's the reason why there is an intermediate scheme between Chrome and Edge driver, that is Chromium driver. And now Chrome and Edge is directly inherit from the Chromium driver, and Chromium driver will inherit from the remote web driver. All other browser drivers such as Firefox or Safari or any other kind, we can directly inherit from the remote web driver. So that is one more architectural difference that is happened in the Selenium 4, that which allow us to use the Chrome DevTools protocol and what are things that is in the Chromium based browsers. And other thing is that there is in the Selenium 3 there is Opera and Phantom JS web driver is available, but in Selenium 4 as it easily using the native support is removed from there actually. Yeah, now we can go for the improvements. So if you are working in Selenium automation testing, hope you know that if you want to set some browser capability or browser properties, we are using desired capabilities class for a particular driver or particular driver. If for example Chrome browsers, like we need to create an object of desired capabilities, then we need to pass as a method a set capability, the browser name, browser version, or all kind of stuff. But in Selenium 4, that is depreciated and we need to use each browser option. For example, Chrome, there is Chrome option. For Firefox option. We need to create an object of that class and we can pass it as an argument. And finally, when you are creating an object, we can pass that Chrome driver object, that options that object to the Chrome driver class. But still, if you are using a remote web driver object, still we can use a desired capabilities only for the child classes like Chrome, Firefox, or if you are creating that kind of drivers, then we cannot use these desired capabilities. But if we are using a remote web driver, some kind of like a kind of for example source lab or kind of third party testing or kind of stuff, still we can use the desired capabilities. But for if you are using in our local machine or something is a Chrome or something, we need to use the Chrome options. So that will help us to option the, and like there is lot of other options also came. If you check on the options class, there is lot of options to set different browser properties as also available in the Selenium 4. So that is a one improvement made for the desired capabilities class in Selenium 4. And other one is regarding the actions class. Action class basically using for a mouse kind of actions. Basically we need to move to an element to click. For example, some e-commerce sites, we don't need to click, we can just touch on the particular menu and it will open, then we can click. So that kind of stuff now in the Selenium 4, that move to element, that method is optional now. If you want to use, you can use, otherwise we can directly click. For example, if you want to click and hold and release one particular web element, one particular menu or some kind of stuff, in Selenium 3 we need to use move to element method. First create an object of the action class, then we need to create we need to use the move to element, then click and hold and then build dot perform methods. But in Selenium 4 we can directly use the click and hold method. Like we can pass the element first, create the object of the element and we can pass the element and we can simply use that. So that move to element is optional now in the Selenium 4. That's one of the other improvement regarding the actions class. And another improvement is Selenium grid optimization. So Selenium grid management is smooth and easy. We don't need to set up like inside as is anybody use the Selenium grid, we know that we need to have hubs and nodes in the Selenium, and we need to separate, like configure it separately. But in Selenium 4, the grid and hub we cannot, we don't need to use, and they are giving different options for configure as we need to use a standalone or a hub and node or a distributed, or even we can use the Docker support. It will generate some images and we can test that one. So yeah, the grid optimization is more. And one other important thing in mention is it's entirely the architecture used in the Selenium 3 is completely removed. Selenium 4 grid is like a brand new one. There is no dependency with the Selenium 3 grid. So we can use it as like a new one. If you want to use, if you want to, use some, you can use see some tutorials, and you can just like do it as a fresh one for the Selenium 4. So also Selenium grid support the IPv6 address, so we can communicate with using the HTTPS protocol. So these are the main improvements added in the Selenium grid. So it will help us to create, configure the Selenium grid in different ways. Previously it's just hub and node. Now we can, it's giving different options to configuring. So yeah, that's the improvements. And now we are going to some new features, that some new cool features allowing us to in the Selenium 4. The one important is the relative locators. The relative locators basically, it will help us to find some elements, some web elements. We can see that there is no like particular properties we can take, or XPath or CSS selector or any kind of web element we cannot take. So this helps, like above, below, to right, to left, or near, is introduced in Selenium for they assist like identifying element related to a particular element. Or if you, for example, if you have some one text box for entering a username, but it didn't have any ID or name or anything like that, just a tag name only, and that tag is like multiple times in the page. It's like there's multiple text boxes in that particular page, and we can't able to identify as a unique input if you pass as a tag name. So we can use, if we can find any similar like any elements with the ID above the, if it is relative locator. So if it is this input is just above that particular element, for example username, there is a password box, and password have box have ID, and username don't have the ID or nothing, just a tag name. So we can just use the relative locator dot with that tag name, and we can mention that it's just above the password. So we can just pass the ID of that password box, and we can get it that username input as a by object. So we need to add this package like Selenium support locators dot relative locator. So it will help us if if you previously if you find some difficulties to find some particular element, so we can use this above or below is just exactly opposite to the what I mentioned, the above. For example, if password don't have any particular ID or something, so we just have a tag name, and but username have the some IDs. So we can mention we need to find tag name input that is just below this particular ID. Example, the username ID. So we can able to find. So also to left of to right of, it's mentioned if you want to find some input, some like elements with the left of a particular element, we can use the left of, and right of we can use the right of, and also we can use the near keyword as well, so near method as well. So this is how it's it's more helpful to us if we some people are maybe very difficult to find some elements, especially developers, they didn't add any properties or anything in the particular web element, and if you feel difficulties, we can use this above or below or left of or right of or near, whatever things, we can just use that. So this is a cool feature, and I have used it a couple of times in my project as well, for some links or something like that, because that links didn't have anything, just that links, and I have used it in that. And yeah, and another feature I can say that the multiple windows and tabs. Previously, in Selenium 3, we can switch it to a window, only a window. It will just open as another window in that particular browser tab. So if you want to open as a tab or a particular window, we have now option. So driver dot switch to new window, we can mention the window type over there in that as a parameter. So window type dot window will open as a new particular window. Window type dot tab, if you passing like that, it will open as a new tab. So it will easily, if you want to identify, if you want to open as a new tab in that particular browser window, it will open tab, and if you want to open as a window, it will open as a new window. And it's like whatever our needs, we can just clear like that. So you know it will help us. And all other functions are should be same, whatever things. So we need to get the window handles, and by iterating that, we can just move to particular switch to window with the parent or like child window id, and we can just go to that particular window. That is same as Selenium 3, but the only difference is we can choose the type of window what we need. Is a tab or is a entirely new window, we can choose that. That is the multiple window and tabs in Selenium 4. And yeah, and another important feature is the screenshot. Previously in Selenium 3, we can able to take only the entire screenshot. For example, if you taking a screenshot, if you're adding for as a failure test case, we should have that full screen or full page screenshot. But in Selenium 4 now, it's allowing, if you want, for example, if the failure happened in only in a text box or a button or any things, we can just pass that element and we can just take the screenshot. So for that, we need to add these packages, take screenshot and output type and file handler. So we need to like cast the element as a text screenshot, and there is a method called get screenshot as, and you can just pass the output type and file, and just we can copy and to the destination. So it will allow us to like screenshot that particular element only. So that is also another cool feature that is added in the Selenium 4, which is allowing us to more detailed verification or a detailed check if you have any test failures or something like that. Okay, so next is this is actually if you have some UX validation, some visual kind of validations in the um, web page. So if you want some height or width, we have like some height or width property that we need to check, because some users, we need to have this height. Some clients, maybe they said we need to have this height for that particular text box or whatever it is. So so if you want to add that in our automation, we can just use get rect and dot get height or get rect method dot get width. So it will help us to get the height and width of that particular element, and we can just verify with our actual values whether it is in the web page is showing correctly or not. So this is another feature that is added in the Selenium for the UX validation. uh, for the next is, this is I feel the most coolest feature that is added in Selenium. It's not added when it's happened on Selenium 4. It's happened after Selenium 4.6.0. The latest version, stable version, is 4.17.0, but it's added from the 4.6 version. Is Selenium Manager Library. If somebody works with a WebDriver Manager Library by Bonnie Garcia, it's doing the exactly same thing. So if the WebDriver Manager library is, we can just set up the browser drivers and all. We don't need as a traditional, if you come from Selenium 2 and Selenium 3, traditional ways, we need to like download the browser driver and we need to keep it in the project folder, and we need to use assistant.set property methods to like get the browser drivers and all. But for the WebDriver Manager, that is is just set up, and we don't need to download any drivers and all. So that particular WebDriver Manager library is added as a package in Selenium 4.6.0 version onwards. So now if we want to open a browser, we don't need to do anything unless this thing, the WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver, it will open a new Chrome browser, actually a browser window. So from 4.6.0 it's added, and now it's like a stable version, and that from 4.12.0 there is another important update. For if Firefox and Chrome browsers we are not installed in our system, it will install and it will open up. Maybe I can show in later in the demo session, because I don't have Firefox in my browser. If I have the latest version 4.17.0, so it will directly open the Firefox browser. I didn't install it, but so now that kind of cool feature is available with the Selenium Manager. So we can simply, it will ease our test executions and kind of stuffs, and we don't need to like every time when a version changes we need to download each browser drivers, and it's a it's a complex task, and before every time, you never test failures, and we need to go and delete the current browser drivers and like download the new one. But now is no need for at least Chrome and Firefox. We can just, even if you didn't install the browsers in our system, it will automatically install, download and cache, so we can use that. So that is one cool feature in the Selenium 4. So now we are going to the Chrome DevTool Protocol. So Chrome DevTool Protocol API basically is, I already mentioned when I saying the architecture is available in the Chromium drivers, that is Chrome and Edge, Chromium based drivers like Chrome and Microsoft Edge. So it will help to developers or even testers to investigate the website. So if you click on the F12 or right click inspect, we will get in the console, the elements, the log, the performance, security, lot of like tools we can get. Now what the Chrome DevTool protocol help us, it will provide some wrapper methods to, we can also go in with our Selenium methods. So it will give some wrapper around at CDP or Chrome DevTool protocol domains, and we can grant access in our automated test. So if you want to, there is an option to set up the mobile in Chrome. If you want to see the mobile view, so we can directly access that. Now that's how the mobile emulation is happening. So if you want to do some smoke test or kind of stuff, you can just simply do in our automation by just directly accessing this CDP domain. So I will show in the demo in detail. So I will just go through the methods and then I will show the demo. So in CDP protocol, we can use the following functions. So there is a network request and response. We can see if you open the F12, there is a console logs and then the network request. So we can just capture, monitor and stop the network. Then if you want to perform basic authentication or session cookies, we can do. And finally the mobile device emulation by mocking the device coordinate. We can see the different mobile device coordinate, and we can just do mocking that mobile emulation. And if you want to check the site's performance, we can do that. And geolocation, that's another important thing. So like we are like all around the world, and we are testing maybe the different geolocation. It can mock the geolocation as well, and it can block some network requests, mock faster and slower network requests. And you can execute and debug if there is any JavaScript available in our application. Also we view the console log. So these kind of broad functions now we can use added in our Selenium automation if you have the Chrome DevTool protocol API. So it's like a very good or it's a major improvement that's did in Selenium. So we are more and more capable of doing the developer things, and we can just debug the issues and kind of stuff with the Selenium 4. So I will just give some hint, and I will give a demo also. So this is how it's working. I told it's a wrapper method. So in Selenium, we need to create a Chrome Dev Tool object, and we need to create a session for us. So creating the object, we need to call the method driver.get dev tool. So one important thing is that I'm already mentioned the Chromium drivers already only we can. So if you give like driver equal to new Chrome driver, it will not work. Otherwise we need to cast as a Chrome driver. Otherwise we need to pass like driver equal to new Chrome driver, and then it will get the, because it's available only the Chrome driver. That is that when I say in the architecture, the Chromium driver come in the middle between the Chrome and the remote web driver. So it will basically only available in the Chrome and Edge driver. So we need to create object of that particular. It will not if you have the web driver object, it cannot get. Otherwise we need to cast. So there are two methods we need to get the dev tool access. The one method is send and one method is executive CDP command. I will tell in detail. The send method, basically we need to know what are the attributes we need to send, and we can directly pass that particular methods. So these methods where we can get, for example, currently I am showing the screen device emulation. So that there is a method in the Chrome DevTool protocol. I will show you where we can find these particular methods. So that method is emulation.set device metrics override. So we need to pass this many parameters in that. So we can just simply using the send method dot send, and inside the send method we can pass the whatever the method, and we can just pass inside that whatever parameters. So the parameters height, width and mobile and kind of stuff, all others are optional. So that's why I just passing as an empty value. So then it will open that if you get Selenium dev website, it will open as a as a mobile view, and we can just whatever things we can do based on that. So that's a send method. But another method is this is maybe you can say that more readable or something kind of stuff is execute cd command. So here we don't need to pass as a direct method, so but still we need to know the method is emulation.set device method override, but we can pass as a the parameters we can pass as a map string. So it will just take the key and object from there, and we can pass it as different width and height or ways, whatever things is needed, because previously if you go back to the this one, we need to pass all the values, or even if it's optional, but still you need to pass as optional dot empty. So here just just need to pass whatever the required values, and we can just simply use this. So this is both are using the for same functions, but we can use it as two devices. It's like execute cdp or send. So there are two ways we can use the Chrome DevTool protocol. So I will show a demo on this as well. And okay, so this is for a network response. So if we want to get we are using postman or something to get the api request or response. So but using this we can just use the network dot enable, and you can use add listener method to get the response received. So and we can just pass the response, and also when you open the our application, it will just give the status what the 200 will be the good status, 200 201 or something, and we can get the urls and kind of stuff. So whatever the actual UI, the response and status and URL we will get with this particular network response method. So you just need to pass the network dot, first need to pass the enable method, then you need to call this add listener. So it will just receive get the response and all kind of stuff in the Chrome DevTool protocol. And this is how the mock geolocation. So if we want to have a we are working in, for example, I am working in the UK, but I want to test a website that is in India. So if you know the latitude and longitude, so we can just add that, and we can just accuracy should be 1. If 0, it will not work. So then we can just call this method set geolocation override, and if you call the method, the application will open in as an Indian location. So that is really helpful for us if you want to test something is with a different locations. So this is one another important call Chrome DevTool protocol. So now I am going to the demo. So I will just go to the particular mock geolocation. So I will just show. So I just added as I told you we have like two methods actually we can use. So I have just created a test ng class in before and after methods and a test. So what I did is I have created as a Chrome driver and a dev tool and a web driver wait method for the explicit wait. So I already told if he's a web driver we need to cast. Otherwise if you passing symbol as a Chrome driver, we can just directly, and we just need to get the dev tools and it create session, and it will set device metrics override, and I will show you uh, so this is a website we can just check for the dev tool method. So if you want for the device emulation, so we can just search for emulation, and emulation.set device c. We'll get the method. So we don't know what are the parameters available. So if you go to the Chrome DevTool.github.io, we can get all what are the methods is available for the Chrome DevTool to push this function. So these all are the optional ones in the down. These are all mentioned. So only these four we need. So we can just pass that kind of stuff. So we need to pass as a DevTool.send method, and we can just pass what are the values available. So here we can see, see the width, what are the width we needed, height needed, the device scale factor, and mobile. So for example here I am passing as 375, 67, and 100. That is a scale factor. How I get that is, this is a Selenium dev I am just passing the Selenium dev website. So I will show, if you click plus F12, all these functions we can access with the Chrome DevTool protocol. So for the mobile view, we can just click on simply this toggle device. So it will just open as a mobile device. So I will just keep like this. So it will and if you want iPhone SE, it will open as, so I just open as a iPhone SE. So it will open. We will get the emulated view. So it will. This is how it will show in an iPhone. This particular website. So if you trigger that one, so all the menus and all kind of stuff will be here. But if you toggle that, we need to click on here, and then only it will open, then only, so this is the mobile view basically. So we can just emulate that view, and so I have passed that particular width, height, and this whole thing. Then I just get this particular method, and I guess the Selenium dev. Then in the test, I just click on that particular menu. That is what that toggler, and then I click on the downloads, and just checking whether it's get the title downloads, whether it's going to the downloads page. So if I run the test, hopefully it will work. See, it's open, and see, download. So this is a mobile view, and we get that the test is passed. So similarly, we can use this as a execute cdp command also. So I use the send command, but the same thing, if you use execute cdp command also, we can use. For that, we need to add as a map object, and we can just pass the key and string and object based on that, and we can just use the same, it will work the same. So this is how the mobile emulation will work. And I will show the I told you, right, the Selenium manager and mock geolocation also I will show. So this is the Firefox test. I can show that I don't have Firefox installed in my machine. I don't have any Firefox or nothing, but I have that like I have the I can show my pom.xml. I have the latest Selenium 4.17.0 is available. So I just create a WebDriver object, driver equal new Firefox, and driver.get, and let's see if it's run, and it will open in a Firefox. See, there is no Firefox in my machine, but it's open in the Firefox. But now it's cached, and if you check on Firefox, there should be, we can see a Firefox private browsing is there. It's actually downloaded, and is as a private browsing. So this is the new, like, the Selenium manager coolest feature that is added in after from Selenium 4.16.0. And for more geolocation, this website actually will show the current location. So my current location is, see, I'm in the England, UK. So I'm passing this is actually Indian latitude and longitude. So I'm passing that, and I want to override. So this method will get from the this protocol. So it set geolocation override, yeah. So this method you can get it, and we just need to pass the latitude, longitude, and the accuracy. So it will get that method, and that coordinates these three methods I can see. And let's see if it's I need to close this, otherwise it will quit quickly. So we need to open, and let's see if it is opening in the. So okay, I'll just click consent. So see, it's showing as a Mumbai location. So I just removed the longitude and went to India, and so now if you want to test different locations, lot of applications, the different location, we can just simply use this my location. Sorry, this device. This override thing, so it will simply override the coordinates, and we can just use our automation to geolocation override. So these are some coolest features added in the Selenium 4. And now I will show how we can integrate with the existing automation. I just created a BDD automation framework. It's like the same Selenium dev only. So I have a navigation link. So as an automation, I want to check Selenium web application menu navigation. So I just want to navigate to as a Cucumber scenarios. I just want to navigate to download page, and I validate navigation. So I have created a run config properties. So in that I have mentioned is a device desktop or mobile or whatever thing. So currently it will open in desktop. So then it will just not consider whatever the values here. So I have a step definition also. So in the step definition, I told you if it's a mobile, it's normally it will not work as a direct link. If it is a direct link, it will, you can just directly down click on that. But if it's a mobile, we need to open this menu, then only download will work. So I just created accordingly. So first I want to get the URL, then I navigate to page. So I just checking where from the config, I will show the config reader mobile. If it, then we need to menu bar click, and then the link click we need to add. So I will show how I did. So I have a config reader class. So I will just get the properties. So properties file. This is my run config.properties, whatever I mentioned, and I get the properties, and then from device. This is for what I did is, if you want to run as a command line, we can just pass the device value and height or height, whatever it is. So you can just pass as a like a command line value. So that's why I did it as a system to get property. Otherwise, we can just get the property from here. So the from the sorry from here we can just we given the run config properties, and we just as an input stream, and just load the properties, and it will load or whatever properties we have mentioned in the run config. And into the driver config, I have previously, if it is a desktop or mobile, we can just simply call the browser, and we can. So now I have another condition. The desk If it is a desktop, just do as a normal one, and if it is a mobile, we need to, I am creating a web driver object, basically. So Chrome driver I didn't use. So we need to like cast as a hash dev tool, because otherwise driver will not work. We need to cast, and we can just pass the get width and height from the run config properties, and we will just get that values, and we get the return driver. So I have a hooks also. It will initialize the configurator properties, and then it will create the web driver based on that. It will call this driver config web driver. So at start of the test, it will automatically open the browser. And I have test run nice also. I have created two test run nice. One is for smoke test. If it is running as a like desktop, we just need to ask. I have used a testng, basically testng runner. Normally people will use JUnit or testng, so I have just used the testng runner for this. And just the scenarios I have just added, and just added a tag as because I have the added a tag as a smoke. And there is a compatibility test runner also. See, this is it will just run as a compatibility tag. So it will just run this feature. Basically I just added the same feature only, but if you want to elaborate, we can elaborate that features as well. And other than that, I have that page object. So from the step def, if you call this home page dot menu bar or something, so I just created the link click and all. So I have a base page also, so it will just go for the common functions, and it will just generate from the click or get test or whatever actions we can just scope, and we can just call in all the what are the pages we are creating. So we just use this page. And so if I run the compatibility test runner, but first we need to change this, otherwise it will open in web. So I will just change this to mobile. And if I run, I will run as a test test. See, yeah, it's open as a mobile view. And whatever mobile, we can just pass the device metrics and smoke test, and we need to pass. But if we want to run as a sorry command line, and we don't need to interfere with the run config.property values. I can just okay. So if see if you can call this command, and we can pass the values here itself. So that's why I just use the system.get property. So if you want to use this, we can just simply pass this which test runner renewed, and which are the devices, a mobile, and width and height we can pass like this. So we don't need to interfere in the run config properties if you want to run as a command line. So it will run here as well. So it will first build. So yeah, it's that done actually. So the test run, and we can see basically the test report here. So target or test output. So if you open, yeah, there is a one test run, and that that particular method is passed, and all kind of stuff we can just see that. So this is how just integrated. So what are the things I have done for integrating is in the driver config I have added a new condition also. Previously, it's just for the web application, but if you want to mobile web emulation, we can just add that value in the run config properties, that width, and we can change the width and height. And in the driver config I just added is a device is a mobile or desktop, and we can just add basically it's a desktop, we can just simply call that Chrome driver and kind of stuff. And if it's a mobile, we need to set the these methods and execute any whatever the methods, and we can just, so it will based on the our run config property, the test will pick up and it will run. So this is how I have done. Yeah, that's all about me. So any questions?
Thanks, Sajir, for covering a lot of material in a short time. I don't know if you have any question. Don't hesitate, please. We have almost 15 minutes to answer your question. No? I think it was very clear. Okay. So maybe we should close. Yes? No question? Okay. Okay, thank you. So, for our audience, hope you enjoyed attending our event as much as we did, and see you in next events. Thank you.
Thank you.